Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be looking at my 9.5. This one, the project we have going on today will be the door handles. Everybody knows, I think, with these cars that the beige door handles seem to go bad like all the time. So you can see that I've trimmed off what's kind of rotting away here, but they do kind of get crumbly, and then you get crumbly stuff all over the carpets and through the cars and all down in here, which gets to be a mess. So there's a couple different ways you can go to take care of this situation. You can take these apart and get all this rubber off and then paint these pieces. You could get replacement door handles. I'm a little bit worried about that because I feel like the new ones would be just as bad. And then also, there's a bunch of different ones. You can get carbon fiber ones, and you can see the driver's side there is just as bad. The ones in the rear seats are fine still, but we'll work on those. The solution that I've opted to go with is actually to replace them simply with the charcoal colored handles, which apparently did last much better. So these are used, which is fine. It's a used car, so we'll go with that. We're going to put new handles on today. I think we'll just tackle the front two, and then maybe we'll do the rear two another time. Who knows? The one thing with this is that the little covers that pop into the handles, they didn't send them with. I bought these on eBay. There's just a used kit, but they didn't send these little filler caps with these handles. So what I'm doing is I'll take the old beige ones out, which are in pretty decent shape, and I'll be painting those. So I got some vinyl and plastic paint, so we'll see how that does. And I just want to note, I did do a repair video a couple weeks ago, which everybody hated, which was funny. So I just want to note, I do these videos in a way that might help people, but I also do them for me because someday down the road, if I have another 9.5, I want to remember how to get, in this video we'll be talking about how to get the door panels off and everything. So I want to be able to remember this stuff for me. So I do this for me. If people enjoy, great. If not, I really, that's all right too. I don't mind. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. First thing we have to do is get this door panel off. The trim on the inside around the edge needs to just be pried off. There's a little cap here that I've already pried out. You have to pry these caps out, and then behind all three of these, there's I believe that's a T27. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, T27 Torx screw. So take all those out, and then the lamp down here, we can do this now. This will just pry out, and then you want to unplug that. And on the driver's side, you'll have when we get to that, if in this video, the only difference there is you just have to unplug the buttons here, and also the mirror button on top. So that one's a little more complex. We'll do this one first, but basically take all those screws out and then pry around the edges. We'll have to, I can't remember if we have to disconnect the speaker. We'll get to that, and then once that's off, we can kind of do the handle. The main part of this is just getting the door panel off. And just a couple minutes later, we have the door panel off. I think some of that got cut from the shot, but basically I just have clips all around the perimeter and down the bottom, and then this piece kind of hooks in over there for the panel. Just be a little careful with that. You wouldn't want that to come off the edge of the door panel there, so just take your time. And of course, just be gentle with all this stuff. It's all old, it's mostly plastic. Be gentle. But yeah, there's just a series of clips around the perimeter, and same on this one here as well. Okay, now as far as the handle goes, you have these two clips here which hold it to the panel. You could cut these. I guess you could try to pull them off. I think I'm just going to cut them and try to source some new ones. You could not put any type of clip back on. I think the handle will kind of, the screws secure the handle, but I think the door panel might be a little loose in that area. So I'm going to quickly try to pry them off. If not, I think I'm just going to go run out quick and see if I can find something that's similar, at least in function, and we'll go from there. Before I run off and get those pieces that we need, I'm going to go ahead and paint the two plastic caps. So this is the one that I've painted. It's kind of hard to see in the light, but it looks pretty good. It's a pretty good color match to what we have. Now I did consider painting these beige door handles. Considered painting the charcoal colored door handles beige, but I decided not to. Now the paint does say it's good for trim and seats, dashboards, doors, whatever, but I think it's going to be a lot more durable if we just have the paint on these small areas, which aren't really going to see any, nobody's really going to be touching them. It'll just be more of the handle. So I think it'll be a little bit more durable with that. So we'll go ahead and give these a spray, give them a couple coats, and then by the time I'm back, they'll be ready to handle. So that's 1 or 2 coats on. It does match pretty well. The color's a pretty good match. The gloss, the sheen of it rather, is a pretty good match. So we'll let these cure and go find some hardware. So I did search at multiple places to look for these locking push nuts that we would need for this project, but I'm going to go a different route. So I've got the new handle here, so we'll just flip the door panel over, and that just pushes right in. And what I think I'm going to do is just take a dab of epoxy, maybe just on each side, and glue this in. All it's going to do is just keep the door panel from pushing back a little, just help hold it solid. So just a dab of glue that would even prevent like a stop for this panel will work. Maybe not as well as those push nuts did, but it'll do okay. So we'll do that, and then we'll put all that back together, and it should look a lot better. So I'll go ahead and get that glued, and I do have the caps painted, and we'll keep it going. So I put just a dab of epoxy on 2 points on each of these posts, and it's 5-minute epoxy, so it's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start putting the door panel back together. Now I do still have to put the trim around the upper edge of the door, but I do have everything on the bottom back together, and I think it looks pretty good. I think these fillers match pretty well. I think the paint matches the handles great. So again, I would have loved to have had beige for this, but I think this is a good compromise. It's a lot better, certainly better than those peeling crumbly handles like was here before. So with that said, I'm going to do the other side, and we'll kind of take a look at it at the end. Well, it's about 10 minutes later, and I have the driver's side done as well. And like I said before, I would have loved to have had beige handles here, but I think this is a pretty decent compromise. I'm not going to have to worry about these peeling, in a month or two once they've been in the sun a little bit. I'm not going to have to worry about paint coming off, and I also don't have to spend a fortune on remanufactured or aftermarket door handle kits. I know they make some really neat carbon fiber ones. So anyway, I don't think the gray's too offensive. I mean, after all, there's gray on the dashboard. The steering wheel is black. The column trim is gray. There's gray back here. So, what's another 4 pieces of gray? I really don't see that as that big a deal. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. But either way, whatever you would choose to do, go this route, or maybe get beige handles or aftermarket ones or something different altogether. Now at least you know how to get the door panels off and how to swap them over. Pretty simple, easy job. Thanks for watching.